by Terrence Jeffries, there are 86 million full-time private sector workers in the United States paying taxes to the government, and nearly 148 million Americans that are receiving those benefits. 86 million working and paying into it, and 148 million sucking at the government teat. According to a survey of income and program participation by the Census Bureau, well over 100 million Americans are enrolled in at least one welfare program by the federal government. Sadly, that doesn't even include welfare or Social Security or Medicare. Currently, there are somewhere around 40 million senior citizens in the United States. By 2050, that number is projected to be 90 million. Supporting all those seniors is going to be extremely expensive. Right now, more than 64 million Americans are receiving Social Security. More than 70 million Americans are on Medicaid. In 1968, there were 51 full-time workers for every one American on disability. Today, there are just 13 full-time workers for every American on disability. And right now, there are 80 different means-tested welfare programs, and almost all of those programs have experienced substantial growth in recent years. Folks, we got a lot more coming up. Please stick with us. We'll be right back.
KCAA. Tom O'Halloran has a not-so-common core spelling lesson for the Obama administration. Ready? There is no K in America.
There's kids that can't pray in school, $100 tanks of gas. I can tell you right now, this country ain't supposed to be like that. No, that ain't my America. That ain't this country's roots. You wanna slam, hold on to Sam, but I ain't letting you. Yeah, I'm mad as hell, and you know I still bleed red, white, and blue. They ain't us, and that ain't my America. Oh no, that ain't my America. No, 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 no. That ain't my America.
Welcome back. This is the fastest hour in radio. This is the Tuesday night edition of the Patriot Radio Show, and I'm your host, Tom O'Halloran. Before doing the break, we were in the middle of a list, a little bit more than the middle, proof that the dependence on the government is out of control. And I want to continue this. I've got about another half dozen items here. The numbers are just devastating. When you look at where we are compared with where we used to be, I mean, we were not always number one, but on almost any measure, whether it's economic freedom, prosperity, the number of wealthiest people, job growth, education, we were always in the top 5 or 10. And now things have just gotten worse and worse every year, and there's no indication of much of a turnaround. The number of Americans on food stamps have grown from 17 million in 2000 to more than 46 million today. 300% growth of food stamps. 10 years ago, the number of women in the U.S. that had jobs outnumbered the women on welfare 2 to 1. Now there are more women on welfare than with jobs. Back in the 70s, about 1 out of 50 Americans was on food stamps. 1 out of 50. And now it's 1 out of every 6.5. This one will just shock you. According to one calculation, the number of Americans on food stamps now exceeds the combined populations of Arkansas, Alaska, Connecticut, Delaware, D.C., Hawaii, Idaho, Iowa, Kansas, Maine, Mississippi, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Mexico, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Oregon, Rhode Island, South Dakota, Utah, Vermont, and Wyoming, all combined. There are more people on welfare in America than there exist in 26 states, all totaled. That is just shameful. That's so sad. More Americans are not earning enough to support themselves and their families. 39% of American workers made less than $20,000. 52% made less than $30,000. 72% made less than $50,000. And in order to have a middle class, you've got to have middle class jobs. And those are disappearing. Obama is driving them out of business, driving them overseas. And the middle class is disappearing on us altogether. Obama's quietly releasing his plans for another 3,415 regulations, new regulations, just ahead of Thanksgiving. 3,415 new regulations, including 189 rules that will cost more than $100 million. The EPA rules to limit greenhouse gas emissions from new and existing power plants. These rules will be finalized in 2015. We're going to talk more about the EPA in a few minutes. They've been criticized by these rules have been criticized by the Republicans and the coal industry for accelerating the demise of coal-fired power plants and for setting the stage for increases in electricity, the prices of electricity. Republicans who are set to take control of Congress next year have vowed to fight the EPA. We'll see how far that gets. The president said his policies were on the ballot, and the Americans have spoken, said incoming Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. It's time, he says, for more listening and less job destroying, less red tape. Easing the burden already created by EPA regulations will continue to be a priority for me in the new Congress. That's what he says. But the next topic will bring that into question. Fellow lawmakers from both parties, along with companies in virtually every sector of the economy, have opposed the Clean Water Act, the EPA's rules. The waters of the U.S. may be one of the most significant private property grabs in U.S. history. They want to take another step toward outright permitting authority over virtually any wet area in the country, while at the same time providing a new tool for environmental groups to sue private property owners. The EPA wants to come in and control the pond you have on your private property. Well, you can't take water out of that pond. There are fish in there that are maybe a rare species. You can't fish in that pond. Maybe you can fish, but you can't use lead sinkers. It may damage the fish. The EPA has no business on private property, and it's absolutely criminal for them to be doing what they're doing. But it's getting crazier now. This is absolutely insane. I promise you full agitation by the time we're done, and this one is going to do it, folks. Now, the EPA was established to protect health and human health and the environment. Established under Nixon in 1970, the EPA is another one of those agencies that sounds like a great idea, but over time, as you peel off the shiny, friendly top layer to discover the stench of corruption underneath, you discover what a mess it is. This one is absolutely insane. The EPA has always taken their direction, their advice from scientists. Okay? They're looking after things environmental. They need unbiased specialists to advise them on policies and issues. Or at least that's what it used to be. Apparently, Congress feels the EPA should not take advice from independent scientists. They believe it so strongly that they passed a bill barring the EPA from taking any advice from independent scientists. They are now expected to take their advice from people who are industry affiliated. Oh, and they don't have to be scientists at all. Certain people who work for companies like DuPont and Monsanto will be diligent in ensuring a healthy government, even if their companies pay extra money for it, right? Now, this is nuts. The EPA has had a science advisory board that was established in 1978 to ensure that the EPA uses the most up-to-date and relevant scientific research for decision-making, and that the EPA's programs reflect the advice. This has served the EPA almost uncontroversially through 36 years and 6 presidents. But the new bill now, if it passes the Senate and wins presidential approval, it's about to change. The EPA is now going to take its guidance from private companies. We're going to have private companies. We're going to have lobbyists telling the EPA what proper levels of mercury are acceptable. The big companies that can afford to pay these people will get things done for them. Meanwhile, the EPA puts its boot on the back of the home farmer. The people that have a garden in their backyard, the small farmer raising unhomogenized milk. The EPA is constantly raiding farms, shutting small businesses down, but they're going to be taking their direction from big agriculture companies, from Monsanto. They'll be making it mandatory to have genetically modified stuff. This is absolutely insane. Ignore science. Take the rules from the people that you're going to be regulating. It's like a bad dream. It's like, if you haven't seen it, folks, go out, look online. I'm sure Netflix has it. It may be available on some of the other things. Look for a movie, now I forget the year. Look, I believe it's 1970. Look for it's starring Robert De Niro. It's absolutely, it's not that. It's called Brazil. It's called Brazil with Robert De Niro. It's absolutely a government out of control, and it's what we're facing here in America. Folks, that's it. The time has run out. My sandglass is over. Good night, America. God bless you and yours. This is Tom O'Halloran. I'm out.